Alright, so hi, my name is Garrett and I am a home gym enthusiast. That's the best way I can put it. I like to do a lot of different types of lifting, Olympic, squats, a lot of things, kind of CrossFit style if you will, and I wanted a home gym, and so I built one. And I'm making this video just because if somebody else is interested in making a home gym, hopefully this can give you some ideas and maybe even give you a template or something to help you build your own. So first things first, what I have down here is I have the base for my Olympic stand, and the dimensions on that, it's a single 4x8 sheet of plywood on the bottom, and then tacked onto that is another 4x4 sheet of plywood in the middle, and then two sections of horse stall mat on either side. Now I'm kind of limited with my garage, and so I can't do a full like 8x8 or an 8x6 lifting stand, and I kind of got to make use of the space that I do have. Here's a little bit of an up close on that. It's just simply sandwiched, and literally just throw some screws into it to hold it all in place, and then you're good. And because I do enough Olympic weightlifting, when you drop the weight, I put those 1x4s on the back to kind of stop the weight from rolling back off of it. Now, coming over here, I need to move something real quick, and you'll see it kind of moves out of the way. There we go. There we go. Sorry about the dizzy. This is my squat rack. You can see everything is constructed of 2x4s because I have a lot of extra wood lying around, and why not use it to build something that I can actually use. Now, I'm not an engineer by any means, and I made sort of a tripod, and you might think, well, where's the support on this side? Well, that's why I put the cross member up on top, connecting the two of them, so that offers kind of the support going in the other direction. But you know, 2x4 in the front, 2x4 in the back, 2x4 on the side, and what it is I use a chop saw and cut that 45-degree angle, 45-degree angle, and then all of the screws that I use in this, except for a few like little extra ones like down there, are all 2.5-inch screws. I like decking screws. They seem to work pretty well. Also because if you can see it, which I don't know if you can, that's a T25 star bolt, which is a heck of a lot easier to use than standard Phillips or heck even straight. But yeah, so what I have is two 2x4s for the back as kind of a post. You could also probably use a 4x4, but I feel like 2x4, since I had them, I might as well use them instead of go out and buy new wood. And then I put a third one down here, and this was going to be what I'd be squatting from. Now you can see I actually cut this one with the chop saw at about 15, maybe 20-degree angle to give me a little bit of security so the bar wouldn't roll off when there's weight on there. And when I secured this board to the back boards, of course, right here where the weight would be the greatest, I put in 3 screws because I really just don't want it going anywhere. Everywhere else, you know, it's just a single screw going through to hold it in place. But yeah, the weight I've tested on this is I've had it up to about 315 pounds, and the thing just doesn't budge. It works really, really well. Now on the back here, I have another smaller sheet of plywood, and I don't know, I'm pretty close. There we go. You can see I've got my my Rogue HG bumpers. Nice product placement there, and I put in some 1x4s along the bottom to help them stop from rolling out this way. And then on the back, I made a framework of 2x4s. Again, I have excess 2x4s, so why not? And then what else I did was, at first I just kind of left it as is, but I noticed it kind of helps to organize things. So let me move this right here. You can see right there, I just used a simple wood bit, drilled a hole up into there, and then went down and got a couple 2-foot pieces of rebar, and that offers as a way to separate my weight, and it does a pretty good job. Now you'll also notice I got this little 1x4 right there. That's mainly because the little spot there between the two, whenever I went up to do a squat, unfortunately my foot would go down in there, and I'm a barefoot lifter. So when you get skin pinched between 2 sheets of plywood while you're trying to actually do a back squat or a front squat or any other thing that you would have to start from a racked position, it can be a little bit startling, if not painful, and make you drop some weight. and that is not too fun. That is my squat rack. And kind of scan across here, you can see all the crap I've got on my shelves. And again, another product placement. That is the Rogue bar, and I really particularly like Rogue stuff. Now for the next portion, I'm going to go ahead and put my phone down so that you can see as I'm working here. I recently, and by recently I mean yesterday, decided that I wanted to do bench press. And because I have not been able to do bench press, and I do have kind of a desire to get better at it, considering I suck at it so much. And so what I did was, again, 2x4s. I had excess ones laying down underneath, and you can tell because some of them are stained because from previous projects. And what I did was I cut a couple at, I believe this is about 36, 37 inches. An okay height for me. But it depends on, of course, your arm length. Shorter people might want shorter. Some people that are a little bit taller might want a little bit higher. And again, it's two of them kind of screwed together, as well as supports on the back, supports on the front, and then you'll see what these are used for here in a second. And then the top of these, I used the chop saw, and instead of doing the 15 to 20 degree angle like I did on the squat rack, I did a 5-degree angle on either side. And it seems fine. I think I might use a 10 degree if I were to build this again. But the way I made it was that this will slot in here. And this is where that little footboard on the bottom comes in handy. Is my front 2x4 is flush with the ground. Now the back 2x4 I had to have up a little bit because it wouldn't fit right if I had it flush with the ground, because the 1x4 on the bottom is larger than the gap between the two, and I didn't feel like taking it out and actually cutting it down to size. So what you do is you can kind of kick this back into place, and then it just slots right back in, and it fits right between your two uprights for your squat rack. And then you're wondering, hey, you need a bench if you want to bench press, right? So again, 2x4s. I have a lot extra. I'll flip this guy up on end, and basically I sandwiched 2x4s, and I made this 12 inches across, and that seems like a pretty standard width for benches, and it felt really good when I used it today. And then for my length, I used 40 inches because for me, from my head down to a little bit below my tailbone is right at about 36, 38 inches, and I don't need much more than that. So why make a bench that's longer than I need, especially when I have such limited space right here. And so I cut them, and then these legs, again, 2x4s, tacked together to make 4x4s. Hey, you could just go out and buy a 4x4, that works too. I sandwiched those in between and then screwed them in. And then I added these guys right here for support to stop the legs from wobbling back and forth that way. And now you'll also see right here, I've got a couple 2x2s, and those kind of fit in with the other 2x2s I have on the actual bench press for the actual rack. Now, for the surface of it, went down to the fabric store, got myself some marine vinyl. Waterproof, it's pretty sturdy apparently. It's also cheaper than heck. So it only cost me $7 for a little, for standard width of the material and then 24 inches of it. I just used a stapler, tacked that baby right on. Now you might be wondering, what did I use for padding? Now I'm a big fan of the horse stall mat like I used there, so I had a little bit of extra horse stall mat. So I cut some to length and width for this to match it, and then put this over it. I mean, I'm not looking for comfort here, I'm looking for functionality. And horse stall mat's going to work a heck of a lot better than furniture foam or something like that. The lady down at the fabric store actually gave me another idea for something you could use for a mat, and that's if you have any of that rolled padding, you know, the really thick foam that you use when you go camping, that could also be thick enough to go on underneath that. Maybe a little bit more comfort than a horse stall mat. Now, these rungs right here slot right into that spot down there on the actual bench rack, and then the other two 2x2s that are on the rack already, lock it in so it's center. And now you'll actually notice this is a little bit wobbly, but I've had up to 225 pounds on this. I think if I were to do this again, like I said, I would cut these instead of a 5-degree angle on either side. I would cut it probably a 10-degree angle, make it feel a little bit better, and then I would also tack in, another support on the back to help make it a little bit more sturdy. But other than that, this actually turned out really well, and I'm really I'm happy with how well it works. You want to see the rest of my garage gym because this is a garage gym video. That of course is squat rack and now bench press stand as well. I've got my rings attached to the rafters for my garage door, and that's what I usually do push-ups from. Of course, kettlebells, because what's a garage gym without kettlebells? Also have medicine ball and excess chairs that I needed to get out of the way. Why not tack them onto the wall? I used some PVC, made a couple parallettes. Over here, that's again Rogue. It's the pull-up bar, their standard one that they usually sell, as well as the ring attachment because I wanted to be able to do muscle ups. I'm really fortunate that I have a 12-foot ceiling in my garage, and so I can actually do some ring work as well. And then this baby right here, another one of my, not necessarily an invention, but at least just a creation of mine, is 2x6s, and a lot of them screwed together vigorously. A little bit of chain. I got a harness down there in the bucket along with another medicine ball, and that works pretty well as a sled. And that's, I mean, nothing too fantastic about it. It's actually pretty simple. All I did was this thing is like, I mean, heck, look, you can see I can wiggle that without even putting much effort on it. But you have to think a post on a sled isn't really dealing with a whole lot of weight transfer to it. It's just kind of there to hold weight in place. I might try and reinforce that at some future point because, heck, I've only drug like 90 pounds on that, so it's not like I've really put on like a serious amount of weight. I think that about does it. That's about all I have right here. Again, cats running around everywhere, but that's a product of my house. Oh, that's my box jump, and that's about 30 inches high, and it is horribly constructed. It's probably one of my biggest failures as far as designs go. I've actually scavenged wood from it to build other projects, so that's why it isn't as nice looking as it once was. But yeah, if you guys have any questions, put them in the comments below. If you want any more details on anything that I've built, just ask in the comments, or you can send me a private message. Either way, hopefully this does help somebody. Hopefully you get an idea from this and you can make your own garage gym.